Greetings! Today is still June the 14th of 2022. It is still my sister's birthday. It's still Flag Day. It's still Tuesday. In my other grandparents' house in Alabama, I have some specific Toyaholic memories. There were various toys that I would be allowed to buy when we were out shopping.
Usually at a store like Southgate Mall's Elmore's, which was close to my grandparents' house, or we'd make a trip across the river to the brand new Regency Square Mall. We'd enter through JCPenney's and go to Circus World.
But told that I have to put those back until a holiday or a birthday. But then every time I would go over there on the weekends, I would be allowed to play with the toys, but I had to put them back up on the shelf. And I think somewhere, I wasn't very careful with my toys as a small child, but I think somewhere when I did start being really careful with my toys, I was drawing on that, be sure they can still pass for new if you put them back in the box and take them back out. Because we were having to sneak some of these toys. I don't know what was going on between my grandparents and my parents, why things were being kept secret exactly. But I know one incident that kind of blew up in our faces was I requested a couple of toys on my Christmas list or whatever, and I wound up getting them from both. So what happened there was I wound up with two of the 12-inch tall Luke Skywalker large size action figure slash doll. Let's call it what it is. It's a doll. So I got two of these, and I got two of the Darth Vader 12-inch dolls as well. I also remember getting the Creature Cantina playset and having to pretend like it was brand new the next time I opened it. And I did a really stupid thing in front of my sister, the sister whose birthday is today, because she was over at my grandmother's house. And I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. And I set it out, and I'm like opened the flap, which was already cut. The tape was already cut. And I'm like, I'm just going to put the stickers on it while it's still inside the box. Nobody would do that. It was such a tell of like, but I was clever enough to think I need to have a reason for why the labels are already on this toy, but not clever enough to think I'm making it more suspicious than it was if I just pulled it out and started playing with it, you know? So, but yeah, those were some specific items that I wound up getting duplicates of. Then, there's also the specific memory of getting Boba Fett. Same thing. I had to play with Boba, put Boba back in the box, put it back up on the shelf of my grandfather's closet with the sliding doors. And yeah, so it was just a weird charade that was happening in the 70s, and I don't really know why. This dovetails into another story about Boba Fett. You know the weird way you have to flex this piece to get it to go into the top and bottom little holders on Boba's back there? I hate that. I always feel like it's about to break. Because I had this toy in secret. And then my neighbor, Craig, 4 years younger than me, he got the Boba Fett toy. And he's like, look, I got Boba Fett. I'm like, yeah, I already have one in secret. And so we're playing with it, and I went to either put the backpack on or off, demonstrating for Craig how it's done, and a little whitish line appeared on one of those two flexible pieces, where apparently I put too much pressure on it. So to this day, I'm always terrified that I'm going to break this right there, because Craig's developed a stress and eventually broke. And I remember him, like, his mother was like, you know, did you break it, or did, you know, one of the other kids break it? And he's like, well, Alex would show me how to put it on, but he already owns one in secret at his grandmother's house. And I'm back there going, oh God, that sounds horrible. Number one, she might tell my mom. And number two, it just sounds so suspicious, because Craig and I, later then, we knew a kid who would often lie and say that he had every Star Wars toy you could imagine. And we knew that he was full of it. Because he never had these toys. They were always at his dad's house. You know, apparently the house he lived on our street was his mom's house. And he'd say, yeah, I have that figure. I've already got that figure. We'd say, like, oh, look, there's a new figure coming out of Lobot. He's like, yeah, I have that figure. It's like, no, you don't. Where are these figures if you have? They're at my dad's house. Bull. We don't believe you. And we even tried one day to get him to like say that he had a figure that didn't exist. And so we were like, yeah, you know, the red C-3PO with a removable hat. And he was like, and never would say that he already had that one. So we never got the definitive proof that he was just lying about every toy, about having every toy. We would also play backyard football, the three of us. He and Craig, and I can't remember that kid's name. And so I would be the quarterback for both teams because I was older than both of them. So, you know, for this play, I'm on that team. For this play, I'm on that team. And if I passed to Craig and Craig was running from him and Craig passed back to me, and it happened more than, you know, a couple of times, this kid would always like stop and complain and say, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's a forward lateral. You can't do that. Okay, I'm pretty sure in the NFL, you don't have one quarterback for both teams either. So maybe forgive us a little bit of the backyard rule breaking, okay? It was so annoying. Finally, one day, I turned around as he made the protest that we had learned to cringe every time he made it. And I said, I never heard of it, which is a direct quote, a direct, you know, steal from Red Dawn. Patrick Swayze's character says that after a soldier tells this teenager that he's violating the Geneva Convention. Craig and I had both seen Red Dawn so many times on cable that Craig just hit the ground laughing. Boba Fett, I took him out of storage the other day, and I was disheartened to notice that his wrists, the rubber of his wrists, have apparently melted into the plastic of his arms. There's some sort of chemical reaction occurring between those. Now, right now, I still can rotate his wrists just slightly, but I feel like eventually those are either going to fuse or break off. And I'm disheartened about that. Something similar happened with one of these two Vaders right here. This Vader's chest box got melted because I put these guys in a storage container and then I left them there for about 15 years. And the Jawa on top of him has a very rubbery bandolier, and that's exactly where they were laying. So it melted into the like hollow cast plastic there of Vader. So I was sick about that one, but hey, thanks to my grandmother, I had a spare. But yeah, so then Boba Fett's gun. I never really liked this gun. I wish they'd made a more movie accurate gun. I guess they were wanting to, you know, come up with play features on him, especially because he's the one that's the most posable. He's got the ball joints at the knees and at the elbows. Nobody else had that. He's got the little viewfinder here, just like the $6 Million Man toys had. And he's got the bionic eye, and he's got the clicking viewfinder. He's got the lenticular card on his chest. They were just trying to pack a whole bunch of value features into Boba Fett. The cape, the Wookiee braids, which I recently had to give them a hot water treatment because they had gotten curled because he was laying horizontal in storage for so many years. So yeah, and then the backpack, the detachable backpack with the projectile and the string and everything. This is one of the only toys from back then that I still have the original black string. If you look at the Lukes on their grappling hooks, or Incredible Hulks, if you pronounce it the way my cousin did, I just replaced that with a longer white string at some point so they could actually, you know, tie it around their hand and swing on something. Pretty sure that was originally black, like the Snowspeeder string was. But let me unwind Boba here, and you'll be able to see this in action where the grappling hook could go on, and then you could make him fly towards whatever the thing was. Pretty limited run there, but that one I never retied with a longer white string. I just kept the black string on it. All right. I've got plenty more of these 12-inch dolls, so if this is a topic that interests you, I'll do more installments in the future. But that was my first 4, which was 2 figures twice. And then I got Leia and Chewbacca. And over the years, it took me quite a while to track down the last one I needed, which was Han Solo. And I think I got him like 95, 96, somewhere in that ballpark. So it was many years before I got to him. Thank you for watching.